Hi everybody, it is Julie. Welcome back to Pages and Pens. Today I am here for a giveaway and to talk to you about my favorite translated book. Let's jump right into it. So today is going to be a short and sweet video. A lot of these that include my giveaways will be, but today I wanted to talk to you about an international author who had a book written in another language that was then translated into English that I 5-starred, fell in love with, and will absolutely make my best of the year list. Today I want to talk to you about Fairtown by Fredrik Backman. Here's the thing, this is not a new book. It's been around for a hot minute, and guys, it took me by storm. I read this in audiobook. At the time of filming this on the 5th, I am already starting the audiobook of Us Against Them, which is the second book of this series, and I am so in love with it. This book made me cry so much, but it is so beautiful and so real and so raw and so haunting and so gorgeous. I don't know if it's because I happen to also love hockey. I don't know if it's because I love small town books with these amazing found families and really complex friend groups, but this book was stunningly crafted. And Fredrik Backman is a Swedish author. This was written in another language first and translated into English. And I can genuinely tell you, I have not read very much that is a translated novel. If I have, it's one that I didn't even realize had been translated. This is a book that I think could read as Alaskan. It could read as very United States for me personally, as a resident of the United States. And the only reason that I would think that it wasn't in the US is because the money is different. Other than that, it could be any US small town that's obsessed with hockey and is cold enough to have like lake rinks. Beautifully crafted in a really haunting, really terrible way. I was angry. I was just heartbroken. I had moments where I was so disappointed in characters, where I was proud of characters. I mean, it was the truest definition of a roller coaster ride, but this book centers a very small town. It's a town in the middle of the forest, and it's just kind of overlooked, and it's a dying town, and the only thing going for it, the only thing kind of generating any buzz or money in this town is their hockey team. The hockey team has become the only reason for a lot of these families to be there, a lot of the citizens in the town. The only reason that they get up, get out of bed, and don't fall into an alcoholic stupor is because they want to go see hockey. Some of them still go in an alcoholic stupor to go watch hockey, but they are a hockey town through and through. They bleed hockey. They are building these teams. They are building these kids. And it reminds me, or I think it could be compared a lot to like Texas football, or at least what I imagine Texas football to be, or sometimes like Northeast lacrosse. Anywhere where you have a society that is guarding the boys, typically the boys of a town, because the sport is more important than holding boys accountable, where abuse or misbehavior is overlooked because it's in the best interest of the club to keep things running smoothly because the players need to be focused on the game and not on school or not on particularly being good human beings. And that's kind of what we have in this. We have one of the hockey players who is accused of raping a girl, and the town falls apart. Very hard to read at times. Obviously, this covers a rape. There is on-page rape. There's a lot of discussion about it, about the trauma and the slut-shaming and the fallout that causes, about what it does to the parents of the girl, what it does to the brother of the girl, what it does to the girl herself, what it does to the girl's best friend, how it affects the boy who was accused, the town as a whole, how the town reacts, abandonment of other children. You know, this follows a whole team. So you've got a whole host of boys, and you have some that don't have fathers, that have mothers that are working themselves tooth and nail. We have racism, we have homophobia, we have boys that are hurting themselves on purpose because their internal pain is so intense that they drive their bodies to ridiculous lengths. It is so heartfelt though, and so real, and you love these boys and you love this little town even though it's so deeply problematic, but that's life, right? Like, it's not always easy, and sometimes you can love somebody and still be so angry at them for their actions, and it really takes a hard look at the way that we protect people at the cost of victims, and it is so beautiful and so haunting. And I don't think I'll ever forget this book. I immediately upon finishing this, with tears still coming down my face, went online and ordered the next book. And then before that book has even reached me, because I don't think it's supposed to get here till Monday, today's Thursday, I started the audiobook for it because I knew I wanted both of these books on my shelves. I wanted to read them. I will probably reread this because I tabbed up a couple things, but I mainly listened to this in audiobook and I didn't stop to tab. And there is so much in this that is, it just says so much about society, about people, about our hearts, about our resilience, about a parent's love for a child, about grief, and about loss. There's trigger warnings in this for loss of a parent, for self-harm, for rape, for loss of a child, for alcoholism, for gun violence, for so much, so much. But it is one of the most beautiful things I've ever read. And I don't think it's for everybody. It's very slow paced. It's very character driven. This is not like an action packed kind of a book, even though a lot is taking place. It is still just one of the most gorgeous things I've ever read. And I wanted to showcase that because I knew that this wouldn't get enough attention just in the vlog that I read this in, because I did read it for 'Tis the Season-a-thon for my snow on the cover, which it will end up in that wrap up. But I wanted to talk about it a little bit more also because I don't read international authors very often and I don't read translated works very often. And I thought it was really interesting that this was one of my favorite books and it was a translated text from an international author that I probably, you know, if you said like, oh, it's a translated text, it's an international, like that alone wouldn't have been like a selling point for me, right? Like I'm not trying to read all the countries and continents. That's not something that's one of my goals. And I realize that I'm probably not doing it enough, but I do think that it helps that the experience in this is so universal and so just human that it doesn't have anything to do really with where it takes place, other than the fact that this town is in and of itself a character. It could be, this town could be in any country and the problems would still be the same because they're just human problems, right? But absolutely gorgeous. If you have not read this yet, please read this. At least give it a chance. And if you don't want to read it physically, give the audiobook a listen. The audiobook was really fantastic. But because I am talking about an international author, because I'm talking about translated texts, I do want to do an international giveaway today. So today's giveaway will only be for international winners, my international bookish friends. If you are one of my international followers, one of my international watchers and bookish buds, please leave me a comment down below if you would like to be entered to win a book. So as long as Book Depository ships to you, I will gift you a book up to $15. If you are international and you want to join, please be subscribed to me. Make sure your subscriptions are public so I can make sure that you're actually subscribed to me. And make sure to comment down below that A, you're international, B, that you would like to be entered, C, leave me a way to get in touch with you, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, an email, however it is, so that I can let you know that you won. And if you want to, as a bonus, let me know where you're watching from. I would love to know personally. But that's going to be it for this one. All the rules will be in the description box down below. Happy holidays to everybody. Really excited to continue my 12 days of giveaways and to just love on this community a little bit and to love on this book specifically, because wow, just wow. That's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, be sure to give me a big thumbs up, click subscribe, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye guys.